Hello everyone, welcome to Trade. We're just doing our daily mid-market review at about 12 to 12:30. So far, this is the 15-minute chart of Bank Nifty. We got a gap up and the gap up has been rejected and we have dipped and we are hovering around the previous day high. And on the upside, we had this resistance, the previous budget resistance, but we could not hit that high. Before that itself we have before that itself we have reversed. Now if I just put on the Cambrella pivot and the CPR pivot, our view is if we kind of get a closing below this previous day high, right, there's a good chance we could hit this CPR at about 41,700 level. We are trading, this is the 5-minute chart, though we are trading some sort of bounces coming from here, but it does look like we could hit the CPR if we start trading below the previous day high. And this is one trend line that we'll have to monitor, because at any point if this trend line breaks, some sort of a short covering can come on the upside. If we just look at the open interest for the day, there's huge open interest on the call side that's come in around 41,800, 41,900 and 42,000. So breaking 42,000 looks difficult, and there's a good support at 41,700. So as long as we trade below the previous day high, there's a good chance we could get a quick dip either until 41,660 or 41,700. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. It does look like we could get that dip. And if we just look at Nifty, what Nifty is doing, Nifty also had a good sell-off from the high point of the day. Now this is the 15-minute chart. We kind of made this nice retracement. Let's check how much is this retracement, around 0.6, and we have started dipping. Nifty, the target on the downside is 18,060. We should comfortably hit this target and then kind of fill this gap if we go more lower. And this is the gap, right? So a possible target until 18,060 is for sure. Then we'll have to see whether we are going to get a bounce from here or will we come down and fill the gap. But on the CPR levels, we are exactly at R1. If R1 and the previous day high breaks, we could even get a further dip. But Bank Nifty is doing good so far. If sorry, so this is what we had even in early in the day, the same view that if the previous day high breaks, there's a possibility we could come and hit until the CPR, and the OI data is supporting that as of now, but we'll see. And all this will fail if this trend line breaks on the upper side. If we get a strong closing over here, then maybe we can even retest this day's high at about 41,970. But as long as we are below this blue line mark, right, if I put off the CPR, as long as this blue trend line, there's a good chance we can get a slip until 41,700, and there is also some kind of a support at this level. Definitely this zone can act as a good support, and that is where we even have the CPR level. So if we just look at the global market yesterday, the US markets had a good recovery, and today they're trading pretty flat as of now. But all the European markets are in positive. It's our market that is a little bit in a profit booking type of a mode, probably only because of the expiry and a lot of call writing that's come in at 42,000. See, a lot of people would have thought today we're going to hit 42,000, but if you see this change in OI, the amount of call writers that came in, that itself gave us a kind of a signal in the morning itself that breaking 42,000 is difficult. Maybe later on in the day some sort of reversal might come, but as of now it looks like we could be hitting this CPR at 41,700, and this is a good support zone where previously we took resistance at around this level, 41,700 to 41,714 to 41,692. That level can act as a good support again. If we only consider the CPI logic, right, what does the CPI logic tells us? If we cannot break R1 and the previous day high on the upside, and if the price action breaks it coming from the top, if we break R1 previous day high, most likely we will hit the CPR level. That's what we are looking at right now, and the kind of structure that is being formed is lower highs and lower low. If I get rid of all the diagram and put off the CPR, see, we made this high, then we made this low, we made this lower low, lower high, we have made a lower low, probably come make a lower high and again get a dip and touch the CPR at 41,700 is our view. But all that, if we break out of this trend line, some momentum on the upside can come, this zone that I'm marking. And a support on the downside is over here. Around 41,693 to 41,714. Excuse me. The same high, low, lower high, lower low, probably another a lower high on the downside, and we could touch this 18,060. If we check how we are doing with all the EMAs on the 5-minute, we have closed below 20 EMA and we are trading below the 50 EMA. If this momentum continues, probably we could even come and touch this 200 EMA. Obviously it's a little far off, but there is a possibility. But the first target is this 41,696 or 41,700. If you check all the bank stocks, Axis Bank is trading down. HDFC was showing some strength, but there was some sell-off. IndusInd Bank is also down. Kotak is holding in this high point, and SBI has also had some sell-off. Sorry. Maybe the down move will pick up if on this 15 minutes we close below this 20 MA. Right now we are still taking support at the 20 MA on the 15 minutes, but on the 5 minutes with the EMAs we have closed on the downside pretty well. Our view is we could come and hit this level as our first target, as we are trading below the previous day high. So let's see if this target gets hit or not. The reason behind this target is we are breaking the previous day high based on the CPR logic. If we break this previous day high, we could hit the CPR, and there is this resistance zone can act as a good support zone once we come here, and it looks like we could be hitting this. If we break the CPR, then we could get a further dip, but breaking CPR is not something that will happen very easily. We do have one nice support over here, the Cambrella pivot at 41,630, but before that we have the pivot itself, so the price can take support at any one of the CPR level, the top CPR pivot or the bottom CPR. The top CPR is 41,695. Here we have 660 and 41,627. Let's see if Nifty, and looks like even Nifty hit the target. This was the first target, day's low. Just missed it by a few points, but this is definitely a good move on the downside. If this 18,060 breaks, we could possibly hit even 18,034. But Bank Nifty is dipping nicely towards our target. So at this point, when this breakout is happening, right, this is when we can see for now we have 45 and 44.9. Let's see if this changes once I refresh. There you see the call writing on 41,800 has increased a little bit, which is good, which is in our favor. And there you go, we have hit our first target of CPR. Now we'll have to see if we're going to break the CPR, or probably the next target is until the pivot, that is for sure. But the overall, now the next observation should be, if we are going to break the CPR, if we break, there's a good chance we could even come until this 41,520. See, at this point, even the RSI has gone below 40, which shows there will be some momentum on the downside, but this one nice target of CPR is hit. What happened? USD INR went up, the market fell. USD INR. Coming down. Yeah.
Okay. So actually, little confusion. 5K limit.
Even in Nifty, we beautifully hit our target of the day's low, right? And some sort of a bounce is coming, or some sort of profit booking is coming. So we'll just wait and see. Just because of one candle, obviously our one target on the downside is done, a good scalping target. Though this came just in one candle, that is all intraday trading is about. Sometimes you don't get much time to stay in the trade. So let's see if now the only view now, see, all this time our view was if we trade below the previous day high, we could hit the CPR. Now that has been achieved. Now the next view is if we break the CPR pivot and the CPR, probably we could get more dip on the downside. We'll have to wait for that. And if I just put on the EMAs, see on the 5 minutes we are trading below 2050, which is good. And on 15 minute we just broke the 20 MA and hit the 50 MA. Probably that's why some bounce is coming. So as long as we close below the 20 MA, right, there's a good chance of getting a further dip on the downside. If this candle closes above the 20 MA, we could reverse equally on the upside. When we are getting this type of a retracement, right, this is the best time to put on the EMAs and go to the 1 minute chart just to see if are we closing above the 20 MA, because as long as there is a possibility we in this 1 minute we could go closer to the 20 MA and again get a dip. In case we close above the 20 MA on the 1 minute, then probably this down move is done. We could see some more up move. So this is a time where only time where we can use the 1 minute chart. Otherwise I'm not a big fan of staying on the 1 minute time frame. Just put off one update in our group. Right now, if you look at the 15-minute chart, the 15-minute candlestick, see there's a huge wick right over here where we had a first target and kind of expected this to act as some support, because previously we have rejected this level multiple times, right? So obviously when the next time the price comes here, it can act as a good support. That's the reason we had this marked as target one, and that is exactly where even our CPR is, these three lines. If I put off this camera pivot, it will be more clearer. So this is exactly where even the CPR was perfectly. We came and took support, though the move came in just one candle. That one candle itself, if I'm just monitoring 41,800 PE, it just shot up from 80 to 130. Just give me 1 minute. So if you can see this 5-minute chart of 41,800 PE, see just that one 5-minute candle pushed it from 87. We touched even one almost like 100 points higher, and right now trading out about 127. Just if somebody has just joined in, you can just rewind the video a little bit and check the 41,800 call. You see the amount of call rating that came in. We were almost equal just few minutes back, but this dip has put the call 81,000 with huge OI, and 41,700 calls are also coming up. So the chance on the move on the upside doesn't look that strong. Probably we can continue on the downside, but now this entire CPR will act as a very good support. We need to break this to go further down. I don't know if it will happen or not, but if the CPR breaks, right, as of now the data looks bearish. The CPR breaks, we could even come until 41,500. And any type of short covering, if only a big green candle that kicks in, say breaking this trend line and R1, if we get this type of a strong green candle, right, only then all these, you see all these big blue lines change in OI for today, where this shows a lot of call sellers are there and all of them would try and exit if we get a strong candle like this. Otherwise, as long as the call sellers are there, we could dip further. Exactly, we are bounced from this first target or this CPR that we had. So let's see if we break the CPR and go down, or are we going to bounce from here. The bounce doesn't look strong for a bounce, but you'll never know, right? All these days the market has been giving a bounce in the last 30 minutes. See, Nifty, if we start closing below, if this candle closes below this gap, right, this blue zone is the gap. This was the first target, that is 18,062. Now since we are coming into this gap, if we close below this gap, there's a good chance we'll test this 18,030, and this is also where the previous day high is based on the CPR. Let me try to get another plain chart. See, initially in the morning it did look like maybe if this dip, we could make this type of a flag and pole pattern and bounce on the upside, but right now this looks a little difficult because of the number of call rating that is there. Even 700 call rating has picked up. When how you see this red and blue, that's how it was there at 800, but right now all the put sellers have exited. That's why we are seeing this dip. And if we just check, see, my initial view after this move, right, in the morning was we got this move, probably some correction and breakout. That is looking difficult. And if you check the daily time frame, there's a nice big bearish candle very close to this resistance, and the VIX is improving. Yesterday we saw a low of 12 in the VIX, 10 point, even today it hit 10, and now the VIX is increasing. If the VIX increases, that shows there is some possibility of a dip, but the global markets are still strong. The US market is flat, but the European markets are trading in positive. Obviously 1:30 is when they open. Let's see what happens. I'm sorry, I'm just down with a little bit of cold, that's why all the sneezing. We beautifully tested this. Let me just change this format. This is one problem. This is like an order block where there was some support exactly This is the 41,000 put chart. Exactly, we came there and we took resistance. If this breaks, probably this could shoot up even until 220 if the fall continues. Obviously, for that, this level should break 182. We just use this as a reference point. We don't take any sort of a trading decision or anything based on the options chart. It's only for our targets, like a reference point, but all our analysis is done on the spot chart. As of now, my view is we should at least touch this pivot of 41,659, or this is the Cambrilla pivot S3. We should hit this level at 41,630. Let's see, even on 41,700 some call writing has come in, so which is good. But the best trade, like how probably a good trade was when this previous day high or the R1 broke until CPR. The next trade is if CPR breaks until S1. So for that we'll have to wait for some time. Now the immediate target that I'm seeing is this 41,600 and 41,630. So using CPR, sometimes intraday trading and analysis becomes a lot easier. Today we had this view that if R1 and the previous day high breaks on the downside, we could hit the CPR, though it came in just one candle, but the logic did work. So right now we are waiting to see if even if the CPR breaks, or this was the first target. Why? Because even previously if I put off all this mess, even previously we had nice resistance zone, so that could definitely act as a support. So that was the first target on the downside. Now the next view is, let's see if this low breaks. Probably we could hit this pivot and this Cambrilla pivot S3, and if this and the CPR breaks, we could definitely hit 41,540 or 41,520 if the CPR breaks. So for that, we'll just have to wait. But this one trade on the downside was good, and we had kind of indicated this early in the morning in our group itself. If the we could dip until CPR if the previous day high breaks on the downside. Previous day high was at over here 41,796. And in Nifty, we had our view that we could possibly test this gap level, and we are kind of hovering there. If we close below this was the gap, right? In the morning, early morning, what gap up we had, we came, tested that low, and if we close below this gap on a strong candle, probably we can even test 13,000, 18,036. Let's just check how the Nifty OI is doing. 18,100 resistance change in OI, good support at 18,050, very strong support at 18,000. So a possibility until 18,030 is possible, but breaking that looks difficult as of now. There's pretty good strong support at 18,000. And if you consider the overall open interest, and it's pretty much the same thing. If you check Banknifty, we have the first support at 41,600 based on the OI as of now. All this time there was a very good support at 41,800, but that changed now, and we even 41,000 is becoming like a resistance based on this call sellers. If this put sellers exit, we could get a further dip on the downside. This is how the options move on intraday. It's all based on the open interest and the price action. I'm just gonna be right back. See, we perfectly got this bounce from the CPR, and we are again taking resistance along this trend line. As mentioned, only if we get a nice strong closing above this trend line, we could go up. But as of now, still there is enough of call writing on the upside. The European markets are opening pretty strong. The US market is flat. So far, we had a view that if the previous day high breaks, we could hit the CPR. We hit the CPR and we have got a bounce from here. Now, if this R1, right, if this level breaks, that is 41,868, we could retest this day's high of 41,970. Let's see if that happens. Definitely the momentum is strong on the upside. If you see RSI from the oversold condition on 5 minutes, it's above 60. We need to break this R1, then the next target would be 41,960 on the upside. Let us see what is happening. The calls are exiting but not very significant. Let's see how is the change in OI. See, all this time the calls were more. Right now, if the Banknifty has to go up, this call should reduce, the put should have come up. Let's see if any of that change is there. The calls are reducing and the puts are coming up. Yep. The 130 candle has come and the European markets continue to trade on the upside. So is the US futures. The global market is on the green, on the bullish side, so there's no problem. If we break this R1, we could retest this target on the upside. Let's see if there is some call shading on the call side. There is on 800, not on 900. So that is why break of R1 was important. We have exactly taking resistance at this R1. So we'll have to see if this breaks, we could retest this day's high. Or again, if the previous day low breaks on the downside, we could come down. So for now, we just have to wait. And the same with Nifty. We will go ahead and stop this stream for now. We got one good trade on the downside. For the next trade, we'll have to see if any sort of a zero to hero trade will work. As of now, there is still good resistance on the upside until R1 is taken out. See how the 41,000 put changed instantaneously. If we break this R1, there's a good chance we might go 100 points higher, probably 81 R2 42,000. But again, if we come down, we'll retest the CPR, and if CPR breaks, we could come further down. Until then, we'll have to wait if either one of these levels break.